I'm just going to show you real briefly some features in Excel. So I'm going to click in A1 and say this is number of um, students, and then on these ones I'm going to say 1 and then 2, and I clicked 1 and then 2, and so Excel is going to know that I'm making a list. So I'm going to click in B1, highlight over to B2, or B1, highlight over to C1, and go right to the corner in between, and get that black cross, and then drag that cross across, and I drag it all the way till I reach 8. And so we'll do for 8 grades. And then I'm going to I'm going to bold the 1 and increase it to a font size of 20. And then I want to make all the rest of the numbers mirror the formatting of B1. So all I have to do is click in B1, then go find Format Painter. It's Paintbrush. It should be on your top toolbar. Click on it, and you see there's a little paintbrush attached to my cursor. Just drag that across, and then all of the numbers do that. Now I like my numbers either centered or aligned to the left, so I'm going to center these right now, and simply just going to I'm going to move this number of students. I'm going to move that down to right here. There we go. I'll delete this one. And now in first grade, let's say, number of students is 12, or no, 21, now 8, 17, then D, 2, let's say 23, 25, 18, 24, 20, and 23. So I've got all these numbers with the amount of students. I'm going to take them, I'm going to format them. I want them to be formatted the exact same way that B1 and all the other numbers are. So just click in B1, go to Format Painter, click on it, drag it over across here. Now I'm going to, let's say I want to put borders around these cells right here. So I'm just going to highlight them, the amount of students per grade. I did a right click, and I went to Format Cells, and up here a whole bunch of tabs. Click on Border, select my line style. I like this line style right here. Click inside and outside, and when it appears in here, I know that it will eventually appear on my spreadsheet. Hit OK. Next thing is I'll change this Format Painter. There we go. If this is cut off like this, you know, my A column's cut off, cuts off cell A2, just click in between A and B, double click, I mean. If I double click in between A and B, it opens it up enough to allow A2 to be expressed. Now, if I want to add, I'm going to do three things. In K1, I'm going to type max, min in L1 and average. Right there. And out of all these numbers right here, the number of students per grade, I'm going to take the maximum number, so in any one of these independently, the minimum number of any one of these independently, and the average of any one of these independently. Simply, I'm going to do it a couple different ways. Click on K2, and where are you? Data. I have not been working on. Give me one. Oh, here we go. Up here, we have the sigma sign, and the sigma sign is going to look the same for all versions of Microsoft Excel. Simply click on it. Gives me whether I want to take the sum, the average, count the numbers, the maximum or the minimum. I want the maximum. Click on it. Now it's telling me that it's going to take the maximum number from any one of these numbers. And so right here it says equal sign max, and then parentheses B2 colon B2 BO I2. Okay, just hit enter, and there you are. It's 25, and that is 4th grade. So let's do minimum. Same thing. Click in there. Cell L2. Minimum. Now it's incorrectly highlighting the wrong one right now. Right now it's highlighting the max. Easy change is to just strike your cursor across the numbers you want highlighted, and you can see that is reflected right here where it says equal sign minimum B2 through I2. And now if you hit enter, it'll take the minimum. Now the average, same thing, go up here. I'm clicked in M2, average, and I don't want the average from these two because that wouldn't be correct. But the average from all of these, and now hit enter, and there's the average. Now the cool thing is, let's say I wanted to take the average, but I want to make this a whole number. All I have to do is right click on that cell, format cells, number, and go back right here under category to number, and it says decimal places. We want it to 0 decimal, so that'd be a whole number. Click OK, and voila. So let me pause real quick. Alright, let's say I realize now that I have more than enough space within these cells, and I want to marginalize them a little bit more and give them more of a restricted zone from as far as columns B through I goes. So all you have to do is click on B in the column heading, drag your cursor across all the way to I, then in between any one of these, if I did in between I and H or G and H, in between any one of these, if I double click in the column heading, it will compress them and marginalize them perfectly. Now the next thing that I want to do, like let's say I scrunched this together to where I could no longer see it. I've got number of students, but I can't see it. Now I could do that double click feature in between A and B, or I could right click, format cells, alignment, and I decide to wrap my text. Hit OK. And now it wraps it, basically stretching the height of the rows. Alright, now I gotta review one basic thing. If I want to add a cell, say we have two first grade classes for some reason, and I want to add, a column. I'm going to click, and I want to add, columns are always added to the left, and rows, when you add them, are always added above. So if I'm clicked on C in the column heading, and then I do a right click and hit insert, it inserts a column to the left. And so I am simply going to entitle that column, that's going to be first grade as well, and let's say they have, and this is crucial too, because let's say they have 28 kids. You're going to watch these numbers change because they're all formulas and they're dependent on these numbers. So 28, and then hit enter, and those numbers did in fact change. Let's see. The other thing, let me add a row. So if I'm clicked on 2 and I insert, it's going to insert above. So now I've got a row in between these and these guys. Now in A3, I'm going to input a date. I'm just going to say 11/15/2012. And there, it looks like a date, or it is a date. But let's say it was compressed like this, it would just appear as a number, as a bunch of number signs, because it can't express itself and say exactly what number it is. So to do that, to unfold what number it is, you have to double click in between A and the B, or you can simply just stretch your the width of your column. Sometimes, if you look here, I'm going to right click, go to Format Cells. If you look here under Number tab, it is the date. It recognized it, that since I put in those slashes, it was recognizing it as a date, and so it automatically defaulted to the date category. However, if I click here in currency and I go back and I hit OK, it shows up as currency, 41,228, and typically I don't know why it doesn't have the dollar sign there, but usually it will. So under currency, it should have the dollar sign there. And that, I'm going to switch it back to date. Okay. And that is your tutorial for today.